And our guest here, Mike Haridopolos, is a Florida congressman who sits on the House Financial Services Committee. Great to have you with us, Congressman.
Thanks, John.
All right, so we got more redistricting going on. Where do you think this all ends?
Well, look, I think what it comes down to is let's draw true maps, just like the senator from Georgia talked about. And if you look at the state of Florida, you can actually see logical maps. We keep counties and cities together, unlike the monstrosity you see right now in Virginia and states like Illinois. It's a logical thing to do. And finally, let's also not let the national media carry the narrative. It was the state of New York in 2023 that started this whole chain reaction, not the state of Texas. And so what we are trying to do is a logical thing. After all, if you look at New England, there's not a single Republican congressional seat there. They have really had the upper hand. That's why they don't want to change the rules, is because they've been breaking the rules for decades. So we feel very comfortable with the map that they created in Florida. Again, just take a simple look at it. It looks like a box as opposed to a Rorschach test, which it looks like in Illinois.
Well, since the Supreme Court ruling, Congressman, Florida, Louisiana, Tennessee, Alabama, and Mississippi, they've all been taking pretty decisive action on this front, but maybe more could be on the way. Up to 19 Democrat districts may be on the chopping block as states like Georgia and the Carolinas consider redistricting. So where does this leave the balance of power, and what happens to these other states?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised, just like we're seeing in Louisiana and Alabama and other states, they're taking a fresh look at the lines. They want to do it color blind, just like Wesley Hunt, my colleague from Texas, talked about. Martin Luther King talked about the content of your character, not the color of your skin. And back in 2008, America proved that we are not a racist nation. We are a nation that picks a person we want to be president in that particular 4-year span. And so what we should do is also have congressional districts that aren't trying to give one advantage over another. We should represent the districts that we serve in the idea that they have common interests. And that's what we see in places like Florida. We have a simple set of rules. You look at our map, it looks logical. It doesn't look like the contorted lines that you see in so many blue states today.
Yeah, it's where the Democrats actually live in the state. You can see it very clearly defined there. In Mississippi, Congressman Benny Thompson is weighing in on the prospect of redistricting in his state. This is what he had to say.
It is clear to those of us who live this every day that all the Republicans in the South have been waiting on was for this decision. Everything was already in set. And what we have now, obviously, is an execution of what they wanted to do all along. This is just Jim Crow 2.0 from the standpoint of redistricting.
There it is again, Congressman, Jim Crow 2.0. Speaking of having things, just set up, ready to go. This was the narrative that you would expect from Benny Thompson. But what is it like for you to sit in the chamber with him when he says that, when Democrats are doing exactly what he is accusing Republicans of doing?
Well, it's a shame. You always see the people throw the race card out there. In the end, you have to go and stand before your voters and yes or no or have a contest. I'm not sure why he thinks that we need to draw lines to give one group of people an advantage over another. And again, just look at the map. It's a picture speaks 1,000 words. Look at a typical Democrat state map. You said it's been biased. Look at the recent map in Virginia, how they contorted that. And look at Illinois, how pathetic that map is, and more recently in California. In contrast, look at the map in Florida. You just looked at it. You saw that the areas were boxy, meaning they're counties or cities staying together. And so I'm willing to stand before the voters, whoever they drew the lines. And I think Mr. Thompson should much do the same, as always opposed to falling back on the race card. I think Americans are truly colorblind now. They look at America as a land of opportunity, not for giving one group of folks an advantage over another. That's the American way, in my opinion.
All right, Congressman Mike Haridopolos from Florida. Great to have you with us today, sir. Thank you.